Hey, what's up guys? Red Wolf here. So, since a second trailer for Young Justice was revealed, I thought it'd be nice to give a review on the first two seasons of the show. Oh, and by the way, Young Justice Outsiders finally has a release date. And we won't have to wait that long because it will be released in just a little over a month, which will be in January 4th. And I can't wait. It felt like forever waiting for the third season. Same goes for Kingdom Hearts 3, which will be released that very same month. So let's talk about the first two seasons. Now, the plot for the show was very different for both seasons, but the setup was largely the same. A group of young heroes team up to take down the bad guys, which is a good setup, and it really helps the plot for both seasons. Season 1 was the team to find out who this group called the Light is, and what their plan was. Whereas the plot for Season 2 is now an expanded team having to stop an alien invasion. Both plots were pretty interesting, but if push came to shove, I'd have to say the plot for Season 1 was better because we got to see the team grow and learn to get along with each other. Whereas Season 2 was darker but didn't have as much character development because it was trying to focus on too many characters. The voice actors did a fairly solid job playing these characters. I was truly shocked at how good Jesse McCartney was as Dick Grayson, and I felt he was having a great time playing this character. And having Nolan North playing Superman and Superboy was just pure genius. If you ask me, it really adds to the fact that Superboy really is a clone. The only actor I'm not sure about is Bruce Greenwood as Batman. He wasn't a bad choice, but I couldn't help but feel Kevin Conroy would have been a better choice for this show. The animation for the show was great. This was some top-notch animation you don't see anymore in Western animation. This was mostly split between Moe and Loto Animation. I have no idea what other shows Loto have worked on, but I do know that Moe Animation did work on Avatar: The Last Airbender, and lo and behold, the animation for the show is freaking fantastic. Honestly, one of the most interesting things for me was the fact that between Season 1 and Season 2, there was a 5-year leap. And I found that pretty interesting because I haven't seen shows take that much of a leap forward. The biggest leap shows will make is usually between 6 months. But though this one was a huge leap in time, I think this was done so they could get more action figures made. But it did serve a story purpose as well. If you're like me and you're a fan of DC animated films, or even if you're a fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender or Voltron: The Legendary Defender, you'll be very intrigued by this series because it has episodes directed by Jay Oliver, who's made many DC animated films for DC as well as the live-action movies Batman vs. Superman, Man of Steel, Ant-Man, and Deadpool. Sam Louie, who's made a lot of freaking animated films for DC as well as Marvel, and Lauren Montgomery, who directed the first adaptation of The Death of Superman, Man of Steel, as well as the 2009 Wonder Woman animated feature, but is more known for working on both Avatar: The Last Airbender and its spin-off series The Legend of Korra, and also for being a producer for Netflix's Voltron: The Legendary Defender. And I must say, Greg Weisman is a genius. The man knows how to make a great animated show when he's given the opportunity to make one. From his previous work of Gargoyles and Spectacular Spider-Man, this man is a genius. Now, since this is a superhero show, I'll talk more about the action scenes in the show. And to me, they were the best freaking parts about the whole show, since that was when the animation was at its best. Plus, we get to see the heroes use whatever powers they have. So they are a treat for the eyes, and they get better when they also help with the advanced storyline. I wouldn't want to spoil too much about the show because I want you to have the experience of watching this show, if you want to get into Young Justice. It's currently on the DC Universe if you want to check it out. Overall, this show is fantastic. It grabs you from the get-go and reels you in. The characters all have the same amount of screen time and the story behind them. The story makes you not only enjoy them, but actually get behind them all. From Miss Marston's identity issues and Superboy's need for acceptance from his mentor, to the relationship between Zatanna and her father. That is just Season 1. Season 2 brings a host of cool ideas and relationships as well. The interaction between the characters and the story are all a breath of fresh air. And growing up on Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond, and Justice League, I was no stranger to good animation and cool storylines, and seasons 1 and 2 of Young Justice do not disappoint. The stories, the characters, the action, and the animation are all top notch. The only disappointing thing about the show was that it got canceled on a huge cliffhanger. And to me, this was one of Warner Brothers' biggest mistakes, since they let someone make that Catwoman film, and canceling Teen Titans, and hiring Zack Snyder to run the DCEU, and Thundercats Roar. Okay, we won't get into that one. But I will say this. The best decision Warner Brothers has made in a while was bringing back Young Justice for a third season. Let's just hope they do the same for Teen Titans. And yes, I do plan on reviewing the third season when it comes out a little over a month from now. I'll give the first 2 seasons of Young Justice a 9.5 out of 10. This is Red Wolf signing out, and I'll see you next time. Peace.